Shalom. I want to give all praise unto Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, Barakat Yahweh, Barakat Yahweh Shai. Give double honors to our apostle elders, which are the apostle elders at Great Millstone, that have been set up through faith to help seal the elect that is coming in these last days, Salakia, and that are keeping in the doctrine, man, and keeping in the truth. Because you got guys that are falling to the wayside when it comes to the doctrine, man. That's why it says in the last days, men shall be lovers of themselves. Okay, because this truth ain't about us. It's not us, man. It's not us. Okay, because we didn't have the knowledge and the know-how when we fell to maintain ourselves. Okay, this truth is not about us, man. It's not about what the world perceives of us. It's the fact of the Most High setting up His truth, His words, and they're to be pushed. It don't matter if the so-called context, whatever you want to say, the elect will receive it, man. None shall fall out of the Lord's hands. No matter what kind of mentality that you was in before you got in this truth, the Most High take that away, and He'll wash us, man. Because at the end of the day, it's how Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai looks and how His plans are maintained through the spirit that He's given to us, man. All right, this lesson right now is to touch on. Let me share the screen real quick. It's to touch on these guys out here in Chi-Town that are perverting the doctrine, man. Okay, these guys right here. Okay, IITR, whatever madness, because they was once among us, and I've seen videos. Okay, I'm a testimony. They've seen videos about this guy talking about how they were pieces of shit for what they did to the apostles. Blase, and now turn around, look what they're doing. They're talking slander about the men, but that's what Yahweh Shai said, told us. He said, what? They shall hate you because they hated me first. So this thing ain't about how popular you are. You're going to be hated when it comes to this truth. And to be what? Of your own household, man. So they that once ate the bread with thee have laid a wound, man. These guys one time ate bread with us, the true understanding of the doctrine. Because at one time, if it wasn't for the apostle elders, these niggas would be out here selling drugs, eating pork, whatever they were doing in their lives, smoking blunts, whatever they were doing in their life before they came into the truth. But the Lord seemed fit to give the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to men to pass down. And then that's what you have now by way of this truth. But at the end of it, man, you either going to get it or you ain't. That's it. And if you do got it, hold on to it. We coming to the time where you're going to be tried, man. It don't matter how you look on the YouTube. You can talk the good game. You're going to be tried, man. You're going to have to go through the time of hunger. You have to go through the famine, the chip. All those things are coming. That's why I say that that's going to have to be a sit down I'm going to do, Lord willing. The Jacob's trouble shall be the separator, man. It's going to separate us, man. It's going to separate who is what. If you really about it or you ain't about it. That's it. So all these are just formalities till we get to that time. And we going to see who going to take the chip, who ain't going to take the chip. Who going to give up the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, who's not going to give up the name. That's it. All this stuff, we can go and talk for days, but this is just for edification's sake. You know, that's why I want you, Akim, to know that's watching. And if you see, hey, Shalom to you, Ak. Shalom, that's on here, man. Hey, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Brakatham. But hey, right now, man, this is to show you that we at that time, man. Okay, so I'm gonna prove through the scriptures. I'm gonna go into the blue letter. I'm gonna go into some articles, and I'm gonna prove through the scriptures that America is Babylon the Great, the mystery Babylon. All right, point blank. This is the book of Jeremiah 50 through the Spirit, Lord willing. This is Jeremiah 50 and 8. And if you Akim's got comments, hey, post them up. We'll get them read, man. This is Jeremiah 50 and 8. It says, remove out of the midst of Babylon and go forth out of the land of the Chaldees and be as the he goat before the flock. And it says, for lo, I will rise and cause, because this is showing you that Israel is going to be in Babylon, in mystery Babylon at the time of the end. That's why the Lord said, come out of her, my people. That's why that's going to be said to that out of the great chariot, magnificent chariot that the Lord is going to send forth on the earth is going to say, come out of her, my people. So Israel is going to be in mystery Babylon, also around the planet Earth. The remnant, the elect that is going to be around the four corners of the planet Earth. Nobody said that all Israel is going to be on the landmass of America. That was never said. I don't know where these guys are digging that up, because that's what dude said in the video. He said that we saying that all Israel is only going to be, only the elect is going to be took out of America. No, that was never said. That was never said. Hey, Shalom, man. Shalom, North Carolina, man. Shalom. But that was never said at all. What was said was what? That you're going to have a large amount of Israel that's going to be in America, but that ain't going to be all that's going to be in America. Or that's not going to be only in America. So it says, for lo, I will rise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Because how was Babylon took out? Babylon was politically taken over, because the ruler that came in there did not destroy Babylon. It was only a transition. Okay, a Nebuchadnezzar. Oh, hold on. Let's just get it. Let me just get it. Just to prove all things, man. Let me look over here. Let me pull up. This is Daniel's 5. This is Daniel's 5, and we'll start at 2. It says, and Belshazzar, whilst he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the gold and silver vessels which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple which was in Jerusalem. The king and his princes and his wives and his concubines might drink therein. They brought the gold vessels in that were taken out of the temple of the house of Yahweh, which was at Jerusalem, and the king and his princes and his wives and the concubines drank from them. And let me jump down. Let me go to 5. It says, and in the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand, and wrote over against the candlesticks upon the palace pastor and the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. Then the king's countenance was changed, and thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his loins were loosed and his knees smote against each other. So the Most High had him shaking, had his knees buckle. And let me go down so we can get the point. This is verse 18. And it says in 17, and Daniel answered and said before the king, let thy gift be to thyself, and give the reward to another. Yet I will read the writing unto the king, and make known to him the interpretation. O thou king, most high gave, it says, oh, the Most High gave Nebuchadnezzar thy father a kingdom and a majesty and glory and honor. And from the majesty he gave him all people, nations, and languages trembled and feared before him, whom would slew, and whom he would kept alive, and whom he would set up, and whom he would put down. But it says, but when his heart was lifted up and his mind hardened in pride, he was disposed from his kingly throne, and they took him glory and took his glory from him. Verse 22. And thou, O son Belshazzar, hast thou not humbled thyself, thine heart, through thou knewest all this, but have lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and he have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords and wives and concubines have drunk wine in them. And thou hast praised the God of silver and gold and brass and iron, wood and stone, which see not, nor bear, nor know, and the power in whose hand thy breath is, and who are all thy ways, hast thou not glorified. Then the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. It says, and it is the writing that was written, Meni, tickle up or shine, and the interpretation thing of the thing, Meni, Yahweh has numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Tickle, thou are weighed in the balance and are found wanting. Peres, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the Persians, and the command of Belshazzar, and thy clothed Daniel with scarlet, and put a chain of gold on his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. And that night was Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldees, slain, and Darius Mede took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. So that's showing you that the kingdom was not burnt with arrows. Okay, the kingdom wasn't burnt to the ground with arrows. You didn't have a taking over of many nations, because it was what? It was Darius. Okay, Darius is who sat on that throne after Belshazzar. So there was no taking over of a violent note. So who is that speaking of? What's Jeremiah 50 speaking of then? 50 and 8. It's speaking of this modern day, man. It's speaking of this Babylon. All right, but let's get some more. Let's get some more scriptures. That's all you got to do. Precept them to death. This is Jeremiah 50 and 23. And it says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Because that hammer is showing the policing of the world. The Vatican does not police the world. The Vatican has a religion that is worldwide, but that's not what polices the world. Who has military bases on the four corners of the planet Earth, man? Who has that? Let's look at it. American military. Look. This is American military bases around the world. Look at that. Let's click this map. Article, look at the military. United States military presence overseas. Look how many bases you have. This is the whole world right here. You're looking at the planet Earth right here flat. And who is everywhere? America has military bases positioned all over the earth. Now let's read Jeremiah 50 and 23. And it says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder? Okay, and that word there for hammer, the word there for hammer is patayash, and it says forged hammer. So that pounding agent, that instrument, that weapon, okay, is America, that's going through the whole earth and setting up military bases and being that so-called cop of the planet Earth, that centurion of the planet Earth. Let's jump down to 25. And it says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast strived against the Lord. And how is America striving against the Lord? Going against the law, statutes, and commandments, and touching the apple of the Lord's eye, which is the children of Israel. Okay, because if you look at the situation with Nebuchadnezzar and Belshazzar, namely Belshazzar, he took the cups and the gold and silver cups. What is the elect? The Israel is known as what? A vessel of the Lord, man. So where was the vessels of the Lord in these days, where they took out and brought forth into America, man? And namely America, but parts of the planet Earth also. Verse 25, it says, the Lord has opened his army and has brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of the Lord, power of hosts, in the land of the Chaldees. Come against her come against her from the uttermost borders, open her storehouses, cast up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing be of her be left. And you see that ancient Babylon wasn't destroyed like that. So this modern day Babylon is the one that's going to be destroyed and taken out, man. Verse 28, the voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of the Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our power, the vengeance of his temple, because he's going to take vengeance upon Babylon for the things that is done to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. The Vatican ain't doing that. The Vatican is just a piece of this thing, a piece. It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. So when were the children of Israel and the children of Judah found in the Vatican? When were they oppressed in the Vatican? Or anywhere like beyond the time of Egypt? That was the time, because when we set up the land of Israel, when we split, we were split since then. So there's not been a time besides now, in the time you see now, beyond what? When we came over here in the 1500s, when we were set up in slavery and displaced to the four winds, and we came to America. Now you have what? And you fast forward to 2017, all the tribes are in America, man. Judah on down to Issachar. Now we're in the land where we're all oppressed together. So this is where that Babylon is, and where the Most High is going to deliver a large amount of the elect. Not saying all of the elect, but a large company, man. And it says, that's it on that. We're going to jump to Isaiah 14 real quick. Let me check the comment board real quick. Yeah, Khan. Like the brother from GMS, North Carolina, it says 800 military bases in 70 countries. And that's funny, it's 70 because 70 is completion. So Esau has completely covered the planet Earth, man. Oh, man, hey, the brother already got Habakkuk, man. I already got that on there, man. I gotta read it now. This is the book of Habakkuk 2 and verse 5. Ye also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keep it at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. And that's Esau by way of Babylon. That's how he doesn't keep at home. The Vatican ain't got to go. Man, the Vatican, they got churches, but they can easily run up on that church. They can easily burn that church. But they can't go and run up on a military base and burn that, because Babylon will go to war with you, man, off that. Because that's what you call occupation. Just like the Romans, when they told the other nations, you can do what you do, but this will be tributaries unto us. That's what Esau has done. He's occupying these other countries, man. That's how he's being that hammer. And it says, all nations, and heap unto himself all people. That's why they call America the great melting pot. What other places is categorized as a great melting pot, man? You know, that's why, man, that's the scary thing in this truth. It's leaking out of these guys. Everything that they once learned is leaking. Like they blew a damn hose, man. The Most High threw a monkey wrench in their spirit, man. This is Isaiah 14 and 17. That made the whole, it says that made, hold on, let me go up. Let me go up. This is Jeremiah 14 and verse, let me start at 13. It says, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend to heaven and will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh, and will set also upon the mount of the congregation on the side of the north. And I will ascend above the heights of the clouds and will be like the Most High. And who is doing that? Who ascended? Is the Vatican the one in the space station? Is it the Vatican space station? Is it St. John's space station? No, man. That's an Americanized with the other nations space station. But it namely belongs to the United States, man. You got Russia in there and other nations, but the main United States puts that as their what am I trying to say? Their achievement. When you look in America's achievement, one of their achievements is setting up the space station. All right. The Vatican didn't do that. That's not a Vatican achievement. The closest thing they got is observatories, which they look at the stars and different things like that because they're into astrology, man. But the main one that did this is what? Babylon and the Edomites by way of Babylon. And it says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds and I will be as the Most High. And let me jump to 16. They that see, it says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms? This is the precept to Jeremiah 50. And it says, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. Because America has the highest prison population in the planet Earth. And if you look at the way America, what does Babylon do? They drop bombs on cities, man. If by way of they doing it directly or indirectly through proxies. Because where's Saudi? Where's these other nations developing their or getting their weaponry to do the damage that they're doing? America, man. What is America's main export? It's weapons. The sword, man. So, man, this we shouldn't have to visit it, but that's why it says we got to defend the gospel, man. Okay, that's why we defending the gospel, because this thing right here, man, it's simple, man. It's easy. Oh yeah, the brother already there on 14. Let me jump to another verse real quick, and then I'm gonna hit the comment board because you brothers doing that deal out there. And this is Jeremiah. Because I'm proving right now that Israel will be in the land of Babylon or mystery Babylon at the end. This is Jeremiah 51:6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. And now through those military bases, because if you're occupying that country, that means you've taken that country. Okay, that means you don't see a Kazakhstan military base in America. You don't see a Bulgarian military base in America. Okay, you don't see a Japanese military base. You see a what do they call a consulate? Okay, you might see that. But you don't see no military bases, because military, if you have your planes and your weapons in that country, you can wage war in that country at any time. Okay, but America allow you to have a consulate that you'll set up, but you won't have weapons and all that there, because what happened with Russia? When Russia was having problems with America, America kicked Russia out of their consulate and ran up in there and was breaking up shit. They were going into the paperwork. They were ransacking it. So that's showing it's not occupation. America's the one that has gone through the whole earth and has set up military bases and it's conquered. That's how they're telling the people in the Middle East that, oh, your women don't have to have their head covered. They don't have to abide by the rules of the so-called rulers in that area, man. That democracy. And it says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Babylon is sudden fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go, every one to his own country. So that's showing you that Babylon, mystery Babylon, is going to have a commerce, a gathering of all other nations. That's why these other countries, these other nations are going to say, let us go back to our own country, because they were already in the place of melting pot, which is America. You don't see all the nations at the Vatican. You don't see all the nations gathered over there. You don't see a large population of Issachar in the Vatican or around the Vatican. You see how simple this is, man? That's why it says the Yahweh's yoke is easy, man. If you're under his yoke. If you're not under his yoke, then it ain't easy for you. And it says, and let us go every one to his own country, for her judgment reached unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Because the Most High is going to allow the smoke of this place to burn for a long period of time, man. Let me get these precepts. This is Isaiah 14 and 3-6. And he said, it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from thy hard bondage, wherein was thou made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, saying, how is the oppressor ceased? How is the golden city ceased? The Lord has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, he persecuted and none hindereth. God, none has stopped Esau in Babylon from doing what he's doing on the planet Earth. No one. That's why the Lord is setting up this truth to bring him down spiritually. Then the Lord is going to bring him down physically. That's it. Once the elect is sealed, the true elect, then the Most High is going to take this place out. This is Isaiah 48:20. But it says, go ye forth of Babylon, flee from the Chaldees, with a voice of singing declare ye. Tell this, because what are we singing? We're singing the song Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the true song, okay? Which is this truth, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It says, singing declare ye, tell this, utter it even to the end of the earth. And that goes into what? Psalms 19, about the unicorn. Say ye, the Lord has redeemed his servant Jacob. And that's what you see now. The Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans are standing on their feet, man. And they thirst, it says, and they thirsted not when he led them through the desert. He caused the waters to flow out of the rock for them, and cleaved the rock also, and the water gushed out. There was no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. And Esau ain't gonna have peace, man. Esau ain't getting ready to have peace. But let me get this real quick proof, and then I'm gonna close on out. Let me pull this article up real quick. I'm gonna read this. I found this article just searching through, but let me read this little excerpt. It says the main point are underlined to discuss and confirm America is Mystery Babylon. Firstly, according to prophecy, Mystery Babylon is a nation, and not just any, but the youngest nation. Also, she is a daughter called the Lady of Kingdoms, and surrounded by many waters. The youngest nation to date is the United States of America. And not only that, but it is the melting pot of the conglomerate of nationalities who all fueled through one of the most ironic relic, the Statue of Liberty in Ellis Island. She, the nation's subliminalized by Lady Liberty, has all these qualities without a doubt. She sits on the harbor of New York, one of the largest ports of commerce around the world. Now, let me get Revelations 18. Now, let me tie it in with the precept. This is Revelations 18:17. For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company of ships and sailors, and as many as traded by sea, stood afar off. So if they're standing afar off, that means that their ships are on the way to America. When the destruction happens, you're going to have ships that are going to be trying to port, to dock, to get rid of goods, but they can't because of what they see in the nuclear holocaust and the angels that are torching this place. They're going to be on the sea looking and witnessing this. That's what you got to put your mind in. How Vatican don't have a port, man. Because to have ports, you have to have freights. And those freights are large freights. You got to have certain depth to your sea level for those ships to be able to dock in your harbors, man. You got to have a deep port. You got what? You got the Gulf of Mexico. You got the New York port. You got California port. You got there's ports on all four corners or all three corners of Babylon. So that, man, read it again. And cried, this is verse 18, this is Revelation 18 and 18, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning. So when the destruction happens, you're going to have ships that are trying to port or at the port, getting ready to leave the port, but they're going to see the destruction happen. And this is what they're going to say. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? That's what they're going to say, man. And Vatican is not a great city, man. That's not a great, this is speaking about Babylon the Great, America. Not no damn a Vatican. The Vatican ain't that big. I mean, it's a city in itself, but it's not that big. In verse 19, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping, wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein we were made rich, all that had ships. So when did the Vatican make ships rich? When did the so-called Catholic state make men rich off of their delicacies? Because another reason too, America is Babylon, because the commerce that's traded here. If Africa wants to sell wood, where they got to sell it? They got to sell it on the stock exchange. If Saudi Arabia wants to push their oil, they got to sell it on a stock exchange, which is in America itself. You might have the banking industry in London, but America's where it's traded at daily. So it literally runs the world's commerce. It never has to touch over here. It don't have to touch here. It can be traded and go their ways, man. It says, rejoice, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. Because this is where you have something called wholesale, and then you have commercial sale. The wholesale is what is the lower price. Okay, so they come here and they mark it up. If we want to go over there to get some wood from Africa, we're gonna pay low prices because we're getting it right from the source. But if we bring it over here to America, we can mark it up. We can mark up the price of it and make it costlier than it was in the original source. And it says, costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. So, man, if you can't see that, it's done, man. Let me see what's on here. This is from GMS 144, spiritual food, Jeremiah 50 and 33. And it says, and thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. We went into that earlier. And all that took them held them captives and held them fast, and they refused to let them go. Because this is the place where the children of Israel are still being oppressed, still being under the yoke of Esau, of our slavery, and we've not been let go. That's why if you read Deuteronomy 28:68, it says, no man shall buy you, because we're waiting on an angelic force to come and save us, not a man come up and rise up and save us out of Esau's hands, man. Yeah, because the ship, hey, once they see that fire and that, hey, they gonna wail, man. They gonna wail over this bitch, man. They gonna be like, Babylon, no. This is Isaiah 47 and 15. Isaiah 47:15. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter, none shall save thee. It don't matter, because the merchandise and the money that Babylon has gained, that's not gonna it's not gonna save it. That's why it says take bombs for her. If we can take bombs for her, we can heal her. But they said we can't heal Babylon. It's gone, man. It's too far gone. That's what it's saying. Let me get these precepts. Now, this is Revelations 17:2. And it says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication, her madness, her doctrine, her philosophy, that democracy. This is Revelations 18:3. And it says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through her abundance of her delicacies. So that's a key note to show you where Babylon is who is making the merchants the most richest. It ain't the Vatican, man. It's speaking about commerce, trade. Let's keep going down. Back to this article, and I'm going to close on out, man. The point is hit. It says, before getting into more details, or hold on. It says, all has the, let me jump to the middle. It says, the Statue of Liberty on Ellis Island, she the nation symbolized by the Lady Liberty, has all these qualities without a doubt. She sits on the harbor of New York, one of the largest ports of commerce around the world. Before getting into details about the nations as a whole, with the reminder that these pathetic qualities, there are some symbolic and noteworthy details to discuss about Lady Liberty. Or perhaps she should be called Ishtar or Isis. She could even be depicted particularly from the Colossus of Rhodos from the Greek Empire. These story starts with the French sculptor named Frederick Auguste Bartholdi. His idea was first pitched to the 1869 to Egypt at the Suez Canal for a lighthouse, which would have been a lady draped and holding a torch, but it was rejected. The statue was to look similar to the goddess Ishtar of love, beauty, sex, desire, fertility, war. And what does America deal with? Love, beauty, sex, desire, fertility, war, combat, political power, man. Because they're going after that idol. The same idols that were worshipped in the ancient world, which are just demons, or come with that. If you worship this idol, those are the things that you receive from that idol. Really, the demons, that's what they're receiving it from. The spiritual demon Satan. It says in the original Babylonian culture, it is believed that one would be saved or purified of their sins by having sex with a priest or priestess in the temple. And if you look down here, what do you see? The same deity right in the Statue of Liberty, man. All right. I got one more precept and then I'm going to close on out. That's why, man, hey, hold on to it. Hold on to it. That's the name of the game. You got to hold on to that hot potato, man. This is Revelations. This is Revelations 18. This is Revelations 18 and verse 23 and to 24. And it says, in the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were, it says for thy merchants were the great men of the earth. That's why you got the EU and NATO, because it deals with the world leading nations that they deal with in business and in policy. It says for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by the sorceries were all nations deceived, and in her was found the blood of prophets and saints, and in all that were slain upon the earth, because this place right here where you see America, this is where the saints were slaughtered at by the what? The Issacharites and the Judites, man, on down. Judah all the way to Issachar was slaughtered here in the landmass of America. Of also parts of the earth, but this place, we're still being slaughtered today. We're still being slaughtered here, man, spiritually and physically. Okay? But this is the place we're going to be saved out of, and we're going to be delivered, man. All right? So, Lord willing, this was edifying to you, Akim. Lord willing, this was, hold on, let me check the comment board, man. Let me get some of these bangers off here. This is Isaiah 47:9. But these two things shall come to thee in one moment, one day, loss of children, widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the that's it on that. Anything heals, soothe, or migrate pain. Yeah, because this place is continually going to be in anguish. That's why you got Esau by the way of Trump. You got Edomites that are so disgusted by Trump, man. They don't even, they're ashamed. The Most High is casting filth on them. He's lifting up their skirt. Esau's feeling shame now, man. You got the six-pack meth cooking Edomites. They don't know what the hell going on. But the high up elite Edomites, they like, or the middle class Edomites, I'll say that. They looking at Trump like, damn, man, what the hell going on with this guy? This is Jeremiah 51:9. It says, would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go every one to his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Because, hey, man, the Most High is going to come and send his son down here, and they're going to do some damage. Yeah, Khan, not in the Vatican. Man, these dudes is off, bro. They're off. First of all, he's got his head covered. I'm just going to go in. First of all, you got your head covered prophesying, which is a shame. You lined up. And now you're going off on the scriptures. It says, you shall tell a tree by its fruit. And he don't got to believe it. He don't got to gum and because we're just pieces of shit anyway to these guys, man. I really don't care how the world looks at us, man. Fuck the world. I don't care what mentality it so-called has towards us. At this point, as long as we pleasing Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, that's it, man. Fuck the world. The world don't got nothing for us, man. We don't got nothing for it but judgment. That's what we giving out. That's our MOA is, man. You know? And then this is the book of this is from GMS Spiritual Sword. And it says in Ecclesiastes 12:3, and it says in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Yeah, because Babylon, hey, it ain't looking good, man. It's not looking good for this place at all. What's getting ready to take place is the Most High is going to show his power on this place. He's going to put this thing into a corner and he's going to flex on it. And he's going to show the world what you do when you fuck up, man. Point blank. We coming to the time of some shit going down while Jake playing and trying to be Scholar John, trying to be this up and mighty so-called Bible guy. Remember this. What did the guy on the right hand of the Lord do when he was on that cross? He just believed, man. He wasn't eloquent. He didn't have no scholarships. You ain't scholarly. He didn't have none of that, man. What we need to have in these days is faith in the belief in Yahweh Shem Yahushai that he's going to set up the kingdom, man. And these guys that are being set up to be found wanting, they're going to have their heads down. Get it in now, man. Let that pride get in now. But the main thing to the hopeful elect and the brothers out here that are holding on to this truth, this is to make us fear, man. Because this dude was once a part of us, man. He was once a part of us, called the name we call, shook hands with the apostles we looked up to, man, and fell out, man. So that's why we serve the Lord with fear and trembling, man. And he's got all these guys mind locked, man. Look, they're trying to uplift themselves, man. Look at this. Look at this cover. Look at that. They're uplifting them. That's hip hop shit, man. That's what you do when you promoting a fucking album, not the Lord, man. You put a lion or something up there. You put something, not your face, man. The Lord said he'll raise up stones to do this work, man. Stop playing with this, man. Stop. It ain't about us, man. That's a sit down in itself. This truth is not about you, man. This truth is about Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and what he wants to happen, man. You know, I got a little bit on a rant, but that's it's to tighten us up, really. That's what I pray, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Thankful for this truth, knowledge, and wisdom, man. Okay, and the purity of it, and Lord willing, He keep the spirit on us, man. So with that, I'm gonna give all praise unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahushai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahushai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahushai, man. This place is almost done. It's almost following. And to water to Joachim for coming on here, and Lord willing, this was edifying. Lord willing that, you know, we are just iron sharpen iron, man. You know, this is a beautiful time we living in where the Lord is active, and He's gonna show who He's dealing with. If you can't see it through the spirit, you're gonna see it physically, man. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom to you, Joachim, man. Keep faith.